Kit Kats can read. Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome to another video, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my February wrap up. So in the month of February I managed to read a total of 6 books, which if you guys have been following my channel for a while, you'll know that's really good. This year I set myself a goal of 40 books on Goodreads, and that was in order for me to be able to achieve at least 1 book a week because I have a busy schedule with work and everything. So in the month of February I unfortunately got pneumonia, so I spent the majority of the month at my nan's. She was looking after me. I was unwell a lot of the time, so I didn't really think I was going to get a lot of reading done because the first week I just wasn't reading a lot. But then the second week I was starting to read a bit better, and then by the third week I was reading a lot more. So I suppose because I was at my nan's I was a bit more bedbound. I wasn't like playing video games. I didn't have other responsibilities like things like work or you know, I wasn't seeing Ben because I was just unwell sort of thing. So because of that I had more time to read. So all in all I'm really proud of my reading. I in fact upped my goal, I think, to either 42 books or 45 books or 44, something like that. I have upped it to a new goal so that I can achieve a bit better because it was on 40, so I think I set it to maybe, I don't know, a little bit higher. So without further ado, these are the books I managed to read. So the first book that I managed to complete in the month of February was on audiobook. Actually, I listened to it on Scribd, so I placed the picture over here. I do actually have the book. It's in my garage though. It's ready to go to like charity or to see if anybody else wants it. So it's Humble Pie by Gordon Ramsay. This is one of his autobiographies, so I managed to read a non-fiction. So listen to it, and I totally recommend listening to the audiobook on Scribd because it's Gordon Ramsay narrating it himself, so it made it like so much better because it's his voice, it's him telling the story of his past, and I just learned so much about Gordon Ramsay. I never really thought much of this guy from like 2 or more years ago, but literally the past year or so I've been watching him more. I've been watching his House Fire, I've been watching his Kitchen Nightmares, and then I got really interested into his past life because I heard a couple of things about it, about his abusive father and sort of his life, that he wanted to be a footballer. It's really inspirational, and I totally respect him more from the guy that's always effing and blinding and swearing, and how he never used to be that confident, to how he is now, where he just is just gutless. He can just spew it out and tell people whatever he thinks about him. There's people like coming right to his face and insulting him and threatening to hit him and that, and just to go from that to that, it really is inspirational. So I really enjoyed listening to that audiobook. Totally recommend it if you are into biographies and autobiographies, and if you really like learning about something new, about somebody's past life, or if you just like Gordon Ramsay and you haven't got around to reading it. Totally recommend listening to it, guys, because he narrates it and it just makes it so much more special, and I really enjoyed it. So I had to of course give it 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. So because I was unwell, I wanted to do a reread of a book that I knew that I loved, just to sort of get me like on to like a good reading routine, and also because it was the hashtag a yearathon theme for February, which was to read Harry Potter books. So during that week I read Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by J.K. Rowling, which is of course the first book that is in the series. This is the adult UK cover, if you guys are interested in knowing about it. I love reading from these because it's hardback, and I actually bought these with somebody actually like specially put the special plastic coating around it so that it's protected. I really like it, and it's got J.K. Rowling on the back. I think it's really cool. So this book, guys, it's been a while since I've actually reread this book. The last time I reread it was the illustrated edition, when the first illustrated edition of this book came out. So it's been a few years, and I normally try and reread it every year. I normally try and listen to the audiobook by Stephen Fry because he tells it so well, but this time I read it on my own, and I really enjoyed it reading it on my own. Actually, just reading it physically made it so much more magical and special, and I was just getting so many feels throughout it. And the magical feel of this book, like Harry Potter is always going to forever remain one of my favourite ever series. It, you know, pretty much kickstarted my love for reading. There were other books way before this that kickstarted, but really kickstarted Harry Potter was probably even my first or my second ever fandom. So loved it. I loved it so much. I don't really need to explain what this book is about because everybody knows Harry Potter. He finds out he's a wizard, goes to a wizard school, learns secrets about his past, and everybody makes friends, and then there's an evil wizard, and pretty much that. But I love it so much, and I can't wait to reread the second book when I get round to it. Probably not going to be in March because I've got a busy schedule for March, but if I ever feel slumpish, Harry Potter is the first book to go to, so of course I gave it 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. Next of all, I read The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and this book I got with my Christmas money, and it was my first ever slam poetry reading. So this book is written in verse as if it's like slam poetry. I'm told that the audiobook is the author reading it, so I was recommended to listen to it. I don't have really any money at the moment, so I couldn't afford to listen to the audiobook because I didn't have it, well, I didn't have any credits on Audible, and it's not available for me on Scribd, so I couldn't listen to it unfortunately, but I read it. So I read it really fast. I read it within about 24 hours, and at first I was just sort of like, what is this book? But then as I got more into it, I did start liking it more. I didn't love it as a lot of people have done, but I still liked it, which I think's good to know. And also I still will read other books by this author. So this is literally about this girl who, her nickname is X. Her real name is Xiomara, and she's literally in this neighbourhood, and she's got secrets. So she ends up falling for this boy at her school, and she starts writing this poetry as a way of like expressing her feelings, especially with her family. Her family are they're very hard on her. She has this brother as well who is pretty much like trying to find himself, and so she's dealing with that as well. So she's dealing with a lot of feelings. She's dealing with school, she's dealing with everything as a black person. And yeah, I definitely think it's a really good and interesting book for people to read. And like I say, I really did enjoy it, and I gave it 4 out of 5 Kit Kats. So the next book that I read in February was 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. So this is being turned into a movie. It's coming out March. Very excited because it's starring one of the Sprouse brothers who is in Riverdale. Love him so much. Oh, I'm very excited. I've watched the trailer already, but I got sent the book for review, so I've yet to do a video review of this for you guys, so stay tuned for that. So this is about 2 people who have cystic fibrosis. However, one of them has an additional thing to it. So people with cystic fibrosis, they can't stand together, like it can't be less than 6 feet. So it has to be like 6 feet or more apart. So they can't like hug, they can't like hold hands or anything, in case that they catch anything more or their lungs will get worse and they could actually seriously die from it. So this is about these 2 characters. We have Stella and we have Will, and they end up meeting in this hospital. So Will is on this program to help him, and he just sort of like doesn't really like care about it too much. He's just like, whatever, it's just another program that my mum's put me on. Stella is very sort of OCD about her like medication. She's been there for quite a while, so she's got a friend there as well, like a best friend, and that's really cute as well. So they end up meeting and they end up developing this relationship that starts from like this friendship. She's like sort of trying to help him, like, we'll take our medication together, just so that she knows that he is actually taking it. And so he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do whatever you say. And then they just start to develop feelings for each other, which can't really happen with cystic fibrosis people because of the sort of no touching thing, and yeah, so it's very, very, very difficult. So literally it's just about their relationship. Now, I have watched a review by somebody who has cystic fibrosis that has read the book, and they said it was actually quite a good representation of cystic fibrosis, so I thought that was really good, and that really sort of perked me up to give it a read. I did have a massive urge to read it during the Contemporary-a-thon, so I'm glad that I did pick it up, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it so much. It was a really, really good book, and I flew through it really, really fast. Truly inspirational. It does touch you here quite a few times. Like, there were just moments where just sort of like when they really wanted to just hug each other as friends, it was just sort of like, oh yeah, we can't. Like, just moments like that, it's just sort of like, it's really saddening, and yeah, it just really does get you, and it does make you sort of understand cystic fibrosis a lot more, and it does teach you about that, so I thought that was really good too. So yeah, really, really enjoyed it, totally recommend it, really looking forward to the movie, and I had to give this book 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. I really do recommend it. The next book that I read in February, this is an advanced reader copy. This actually doesn't come out until March. I'm very, very excited about this. So actually it doesn't come out until the 7th of March, so I'm really, really surprised that I managed to read a review book before release date, because I never normally do that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but so I am so glad that I did, because I freaking love this book. This is definitely a top contender for my favourite books of 2019 so far, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So this is a new and latest book. This is the first ever book I've read by this author as well. I haven't read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I haven't read any of her other books. I do have a couple of her books on ebook, and I do have The Seven Husbands as a physical book, so this was the first book for me. So this is literally about this fictional band, but it's kind of written like they were a real band that were in like the 70s, 60s sort of era. So it's literally about the band, which are the Six, and then it's about Daisy Jones. So it's about Daisy Jones and how she became Daisy Jones, and then the Six and how they started, and then it's how they joined, and it's literally about like all the secrets and the scandals and about their lives and everything. It's like they're real people, and I truly loved it for that. It's written like an interview style, so it's written like they are being interviewed, and so it's very sort of easy to tell who is who, because obviously it says Daisy and then it'll say Billy, and I thought I was going to get confused between which character was who, but I actually found it very, very easy to remember who was who. You do have the main characters, because obviously you've got the Six and then you've got Daisy Jones, but you do have like other sort of cameo roles as well, like Camilla, and you'll have like the band manager sort of thing. So you, just to remember those names, I couldn't believe that I did, because I normally get confused with things like that. But and the end of the book, guys, I just loved it so much, so much. So totally recommend it, guys. It comes out 7th March, like I say. Get your hands on this book, because it is so good, totally worth it. I read this along with Kerry from the Book Bell, and she said that the characters were very close to Taylor Jenkins Reid's other book, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now, I haven't read that yet, so I can't really make a comparison of that, but I'm going to do a video review on this book very, very soon, expressing more of my feelings about all of the characters and everything, and just going into it a lot more deeply, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And yeah, I loved it, so I had to give it 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. The finale book that I read in February was a comic graphic novel that I got for my birthday from Ben's dad's side. So they got me a book, and I am so glad that I got it, because it was cuteness reincarnated, and that is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Guys, this book, now I know a lot of people were reading this because they did the Kickstarter, so this is a very, very cute graphic novel. There we are, and it's the truth about these two boys. I didn't know this, but it's these two boys are from Alice Oseman's. It's all the way over here, so you might not even see it, but this is the book here. Solitaire by Alice Oseman is about one of the boys' sister. So these two have a little cameo role in Solitaire. So this is their own little story of how they met and everything. it makes me want to read Solitaire. So this is so cute. So this is literally an LGBT novel, and it is about one of these characters and how they have come out as being gay, and then there's this other character that develops this friendship with this guy, and then it's about him discovering his feelings, sort of like, you know, is he coming out as well, you know, what are these feelings? He sort of feels like he likes different type of person than what, you know, he's discovering new feelings sort of thing. So it's literally how they meet. Now we know there's obviously going to be a romance because it's boy meets boy, and it's just, we know it's going to be that, so that's not even a spoiler. But I loved it so much. But the ending of this book, guys, seriously ends on a cliffhanger, and it's just like, well, I need the answers now. So I can't wait for her to release volume number 2, because this is the sort of book that I would read if I was having a really bad day, or if I was in a slump and I didn't know what to do. I would pick this up just to make myself feel better, because it's so darn cute and it's so light and it's so fluffy that I would read it over and over again just to make me feel happy again. I smiled like cheesy smiles after I read this book. But yeah, just have a cliffhanger ending. I know her comic series is on her website. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to spoil myself or what, but I just like having the art style in my hand. So I don't know, but it's so good. It's so good. So I totally recommend it. I don't often read graphic novels or comics or anything, but this is the sort of thing that I would read over and over again because it was so effing good. And of course I had to give it 5 out of 5 Kit Kats. So there you have it, guys. That is the end of my February wrap up. It's so nice to be able to say that I managed to read 6 books, because there are some people that are like, yeah, I read like 10 books, I read like 8 books, I read like 12 books, I read like 16 books, and I'm just there like, yeah, I read like 3. So it's so nice to be able to be a little bit up there in reading like 6 books. So it's really good that I managed to do that, and I managed to read a couple of review books I had coming out. I read a book that I'd only just got. I read a book that I got at Christmas. You know, like I'm reading the books that I'm hauling really recently, and that's good. I'm reading my own books, so that's really good. So yeah, that's it from me, guys. If you have read any of these books that I have mentioned in today's video, let me know down below what you thought about them. Also, let me know what books you managed to read in the month of February as well. If you've done a video, link it down below so that I can give it a watch, because I love watching people's wrap-ups. I love watching people's TBRs. They are one of my favourite videos. Wrap-ups, TBRs and book hauls. I swear to God, I literally get a boner for a book boner. What can I say? So that's it from me, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. All of my social media links will be linked down below in the description if you'd like to follow me elsewhere. But all in all, guys, that's it from me. Keep smiling, keep reading and be happy. My name is Katie, and I'll see all of you wonderful awesome people in my next video. Bye!